Hey guys, welcome to Anna Loves Makeup. Today I'm going to be using a bunch of these Nudestix products. I actually purchased a couple items from Ulta from this brand, and I also purchased an item during the Sephora sale. I've never really used Nudestix products. I've seen a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people on Instagram use these products, and they always look so beautiful on the skin. So I want to go ahead and try these today. So I did purchase this Nude Metallic Berry Eye Kit. I actually picked this up at Ulta. Most of the Nudestix products come in this little tin can. You open it up and it usually comes like with this little piece of paper. It kind of tells you about what's in the product. Then this one comes with like 3 metallic eye sticks. Then it comes with this sharpener, so you can sharpen those pencils. So that is in the Berry Eye Kit. And I also purchased the Nudies All Over Face Dewy Color in Tiger Lily Queen. This is actually something that you can use on your face, your eyes, and your lips. I am going to be using this on my cheeks today because I thought this color was really, really beautiful and vibrant for summer. So again, it comes in this little tin can, and then here is the packaging, and it has a brush on the end so you can blend the color into the cheek, and then this is the shade here. And like I said, I thought it was super vibrant, super pretty for summer, so I'm excited to try this. And the last product I purchased was from Sephora. It's also a Nudies All Over Face color, and it's in Bondi Bay. And this is the packaging, just like the one I just showed you. And of course, it comes with a little brush, and this is the shade here. Now, this is what I am going to use for bronzer today. I do have on my face my foundation, my Tarte Shape Tape to cover imperfections. I also have a concealer on and my powder for my concealer. I am going to set my face with some powder. I'm going to use the Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder because I've been using this quite a bit lately and I have been loving it. So I'm going to set my face with that. So my face is set. I'm going to go ahead and take off the plastic from these pencils, and then we're going to get started with the eyes. So on the side of the box, it has Maroon D, Praia, and Rustic Grotto. So these are the shades that I'm going to be using today. And I'm also going to swatch those for you. They feel very creamy when I swatch them. So the first one is Maroon D, the second one is Praia, and the third one here is Rustic Grotto. So those are the shades. And right here what it says is that it's a 3-in-1 eyeshadow, eyeliner, and eye primer. Now it doesn't really give instructions on how to apply these, but I'm assuming, and I'm gonna get a brush, I'm assuming you could use a brush and kind of blend everything in, or even use your finger. So let me see with the brush if this blends in pretty well. It looks like they dry really fast, so I'm gonna have to be quick when I put them on the eye, but that's it blended out. I didn't blend out the middle shade, but I blended out these 2 shades here. Wow, those are really pretty. So since this can be used as an eye primer, I'm not going to go in with an eye primer. I'm just gonna go ahead and start applying it to my eye, but I need to get a good brush. So with the Maroon D, I'm gonna go onto the lash line with this. So I'm gonna go onto the lash line, and then I'm gonna blend it out with an eye shading brush by Sigma. I think it's an E55 brush. So So I'm just going to line it on the top lash line, and then I'm going to take this brush and kind of blend it really quickly upwards. That's a beautiful shade. It's blending pretty well with this brush. Guys, excuse the band-aid. I have a really bad cut on my hand. My hands are so dry from washing them all the time that my skin actually split because it was so dry. So I have Neosporin and a band-aid on it. So I really love this Maroon D shade. I think it looks really pretty on the eye. So now I'm gonna go in with Rustic Grotto, and I'm gonna put that on top of my eyelid, kind of like above where that line was. And I'm just going to fill it all in. And I'm going to take that same brush. I'm just going to blend everything out. I'm just going to blend it up and out into my crease and above my crease. Kind of just smoking it out. I am going to take this e.l.f. blending brush It's a little bit stiffer and it's a little more tapered. And I'm just going to kind of blend it a little bit more. Kind of fade it out. Okay, so now I'm going to take this other shade, which is called Praya. I think that's how you say it. But I'm going to just kind of put that in the center of my eyelid. And then I'm going to take that brush from e.l.f. and just kind of blend it. That's so pretty. I'm going to take a little bit more of the Rustic Grotto and go a little bit more into the crease. And I'm not putting too much of the product in there. I'm just dabbing a little bit on there so that I can go in with this brush and just kind of blend it a little bit more so it doesn't look splotchy. These are not hard to blend at all, guys. These are going on really, really smooth, very creamy, and they're easy to blend with that brush. Now, I'm sure that you could use these with your fingers, but I feel a little more comfortable using the brush. I just feel like that brush is spreading around the product just like I want it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with Maroon D on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and just finish blending this eye and finish doing this eye, and then we'll come back and start with the cheek products. All right, so that's it for the eyes. We're gonna go ahead and go in with Bondi Babe. And I'm gonna use the brush that it comes with because I wanna see how this works as far as using it with the product. So what I wanna do is go ahead and just kind of draw a line here. And I'm not using this as a contour because I think this is more of like a bronzing shade. It's not a contour shade. It's really pretty. It has some warmth to it, but not too much warmth. And I'm gonna go right here on the forehead. And then I'm gonna go here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just start blending. Now with this brush is a little harder to use because it's so tiny and I feel like it's just kind of skipping a little bit. I'm just gonna use this stippling brush, just a small stippling brush, and kind of blend that product in. This actually works a lot better. I will say placing this on, it is creamy, but it's not super emollient. So I like that because I noticed that lately anything that's really emollient when it comes to cream bronzers or blushes, they don't really work on my skin. So I like the fact that it's not super emollient. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let me get a sponge really quickly. I wanna try this with a sponge. I do like the way it's spread with this brush, but I really feel like I want a little bit more bronziness to my skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a sponge and I'll be right back. All right, so I just grabbed this e.l.f. sponge. It's just a double pointed end e.l.f. sponge. I think this is the concealer sponge. I think that's what they call it. So let me go ahead and grab a little bit more of this. And I'm just going to blend it with a sponge. And it is taking my foundation off when I do it with the sponge. So the sponge isn't working, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little bit more of this foundation that I have left over on my brush. Instead, I'm gonna take this dense brush by Real Techniques and I'm gonna go into the product. Instead of putting it on my face, I'm just going to dab the brush onto the product. I'm just gonna dab it onto my skin. And I like this way so much better. I think going directly onto my skin with a stick is a bad idea for me. It seems like when I go in with the brush, I get enough product off on the brush and then I dab it onto my skin and blend it in a lot better than with a sponge or that other brush that I used. Now I will say that this shade of bronzer is a lot lighter for me than what I expected. I expected it to be a little bit darker on my skin. Well, it looks pretty. Gives a nice warm tone to my skin, but it's not like super warm, like super red or super orange. Very, very pretty on the skin. And this brush that comes with it is a no-go for me. I just don't like the way it spreads the product. I really felt like it wasn't doing much. So now let's go ahead and do my blush. I am gonna go in with the shade Tiger Lily Queen, and I'm going to use a brush with this as well. I'm using a dense Luxie brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put my brush in there. That's the product. I might have gotten too much, so I'm gonna dab it on the back of my hand, and I'm going to press it onto the cheeks. Yes, that is a beautiful shade. I love that. And like I said, I'm just doing kind of a pressing motion. I don't want to take off my foundation. I'm just doing a pressing motion here. Okay, so the blush comes off really beautiful. Now I did see where it took off a little bit of my foundation, but what I did was I went ahead and went back in with a little bit of foundation on my brush. I just kind of pressed it gently on my skin, and it didn't really move any more of the product. It looks really, really pretty on the cheeks. I love this shade for summer. I think it's so beautiful and bright and corally. It's just really, really pretty. I'm gonna finish off the eyes. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this Rustic Grotto, and I'm just gonna place that like on the lower lash line. Just a little bit on each end. Then I'm gonna take this Sigma brush and I'm just going to blend it all out. Rustic Grotto is more of like it's more of like a metallic shade, and I like that for my lower lash line. The other shade, the Maroon D, is more of a matte shade in that trio, and that's what I used on the top lash line. But I like this Rustic Grotto for the lower lash line. So I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera. I'm going to put some mascara on, curl my lashes, and then I'm gonna put some lipstick on, and then I'll be right back to talk about these products. All right guys, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this look with my Undone powder, and this one's in the shade medium. I just wanna add a little bit of color to my skin. I feel like I'm a little pale. I don't know why that is, because I used a foundation that I've used before, and I don't know why I'm a little pale. But I'm gonna go ahead and buff everything in with this powder. This powder always gives me a really pretty, healthy, sun-kissed glow. So that's why I like using it. Plus it has a beautiful, like, kind of like a sheen to it. I did go in with Sugar Pie by Morphe on the lips, and then on the center of my lips I did go in with the Tiger Lily Queen stick. It's the same one I used for my cheeks. So let's go ahead and go over these products really quickly. I will say that I did love applying the shadows. They were very easy to apply. I just feel like if you're going to want to blend these out, you're gonna have to go in quickly. You can't just let it sit on the skin because they do dry very fast. So if you're wanting like more of the smudged out look or the smoky eye look, you're gonna have to go in with the brush really, really quickly. I will say that once I laid the product down, I went in with the brush, everything blended out really nicely. I especially love the Rustic Grotto because I feel like that one can be used all over the eyelid, blend it out, and it's gonna give you a really beautiful bronzy, kind of rusty, smoky eye look. So I really love that shade, but I also love the other shades as well. I do like the matte shade that I put on, the Maroon D. That's a beautiful shade to go in all over the eye as well if you want like a matte look. And the other shade, Praya, was more of like a lighter metallic, kind of champagne gold shade that I put on the center of my eye, and that did a really good job of blending out as well. So I really do like the eye look that I have on my eyelids today. I am going to be wearing these a lot during the summer because these are very hard to take off. So that means that they're not really going to melt off the eye. I think that they're going to just stay on, especially through hot weather. I do want to look into the other shades because I know there's some other shades out there that I saw that I really do like. So I am going to look into those, but these shades are very beautiful. I think you can wear these throughout the year. I don't feel like these should only be used for a specific time during the year. I feel like you could wear them throughout the entire year. So for the Bondi Bay, I do like this. I just wish it was maybe a little bit darker. I did love the way it went on. I love the shade of it, but I just want a little bit of a deeper tone, only because we're going into summer and I am gonna get a little more tanned on my skin. So I just want something a little bit darker than this. But I will say that this is a great product for bronzing. I especially like the way it applied with the brush. I feel like when you go in to the product with the brush and then you stamp it on your skin, that you're not really moving a lot of product around. To me, it just blends a lot better that way. So I am gonna look into some darker colors of this because I really do like this as a cream bronzer. So looking forward to looking for some new shades. And then for the Tiger Lily Queen Stick, I absolutely love this for my cheeks. I think it's such a beautiful, bright, corally color. I will say that when I went in with this product, I felt like this did take off some of my foundation. It might have been because I was kind of pressing it in a little bit too hard. So maybe I'll go in a lot lighter next time. But all I did was go ahead and use a little bit of foundation on my foundation brush, and I went back in and stamped that area where the foundation was missing. Then I went back in with the Tiger Lily. So after that, I really didn't have any problems. But I am gonna try this on top of my foundation instead of powdering first. I really feel like if I take this product and go on top of foundation, that maybe it'll blend a lot better. Compared to the bronzer, it is a little bit more emollient than the bronzer is. I'm looking at the bronzer and the blush next to each other, and this looks a little more emollient than the bronzer. I'll show you right here. This is the cheek color and this is the bronzer. As you can see, the bronzer has more of a creamy consistency, but when you look at the cheek color, it does look like it has some oil in it, or just, you know, it just looks a little more emollient. So maybe that's why it broke up my foundation a little bit. I'm not sure. I just know that here lately, whenever I use an emollient product on my skin, that I either break up the foundation or it just disappears off my skin. So I am gonna work with the Tiger Lily Queen a little bit more to see if it goes on better with just my foundation as opposed to foundation and powder. So I do want to let you know how much I paid for each of these. The price of the Bondi Bay is $32, but I did get that for 20% off during the sale. And then the cheek color that I used, it is $32. I did not get this on sale. I got this at Ulta for that price. And then for the Berry Eye Kit, I paid $25 at Ulta. But overall, I think the look came out really pretty. I think all the products are very beautiful on the skin. I just need to play around with the products a little bit more. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I really hope that you like this video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Take care, and we will talk to you on the next one. Bye.